Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the Tried and Tested podcast. I am your host Tracey, and if you're not familiar with my show, this is a dating and relationship podcast where we talk about all things love, romance, marriage, dating, food, money, just anything that is involved with being in a relationship in this day and age. And so today we have a special guest. We got my boo-boo, Nana Quia. Say hey, girl.
Hey guys.
So thank you so much for being my special guest today. And so without further ado, thank you. Our topic for today is going to be lovers and friends. Okay. So I'm sure some of y'all know that Ursula, John, and Luda song from back in the day. So lovers and friends. So Nina, like when I say that statement, like what comes to mind when I say lovers and friends? Like what do you think that comes from?
Well, I think of when you're in a relationship or you're married or maybe if you're single, getting to know somebody, you kind of want to be the person's friend before you're their lover. So it's kind of like, building that friendship foundation within a relationship. Or you might already have friendship with somebody and then it may turn into a relationship. So it goes both ways. That's what I think of.
Okay. So do you feel like it works better? Like, so when you're saying that you're friends first, so that means like if you happen to be like outside somewhere and a man tries to talk to you, he finds you attractive, you don't know him from anywhere. Do you feel like now, like you want to be in the process of like, okay, don't try to date me, just be my friend first, or what? Is that like, what are you saying?
Well, I think in that case it's kind of different because it depends on chemistry, honestly. I mean, nowadays you need to know people. So like if you're like a stranger and I don't know you from anywhere, or like one of my friends doesn't know you or a relative doesn't know you and you're like a complete stranger, then I would want to be your friend. At least for, how sometimes as women we have like a grace period, like, 3 months before something goes down or something like that. Within those 3 months, you're kind of building a friendship before you actually go all the way there, like, oh, I want to be with you. But for some people, it may be, some people just like dating, but dating is forming a friendship. You go on dates and maybe dinner, you talk, you get to know each other and things like that. So whether it takes you 1 week to get to know the person or 6 years to get to know the person, over time you're building a friendship.
Okay. Okay. So that's interesting because I feel like with me, right, when it comes to lovers and friends, like I feel like I do think of, I feel like I think of friends, like let's say like you got your homeboy and I feel like you guys kind of cross the line to have a romantic relationship, but you're still just friends. Like that's what I think of. That's what comes to mind. But I know for me though, like if I have any type of guy friend, like that's it. Like if you're my actual friend, the line is drawn. There's nothing romantic gonna happen from that situation because I feel like I've always been the kind of person that I have my friends in one part of my life, and then I have my relationships or people who are trying to bag in another part of my life. So that's why I always felt like that saying was really interesting because I'm just like, okay, well, I don't feel like the two should mix, but I do agree with what you're saying that you should be friends with your partner before you guys actually date. So has this ever worked out for you? Have you ever had a situation where it was friends turned lovers or friends turned to actual relationship or not?
Yeah, my last relationship, we were friends for a while, like for years. I didn't even think of like dating a person, but then over time it became a relationship. But I personally, like when I'm in a relationship, if I break up with you, I'm cutting you off forever. So like if you're like my homeboy, seriously, like I'm ghosting, like you're never going to see me again. So if you're like my homeboy, like I have a lot of male friends and just keep it as that. Like for somebody like me, I know if I'm done with you, like I'm cutting you off. You may have had a good friendship in the beginning and turned into a relationship, but now the relationship done turned sour. There's no way of going back to being friends, in my opinion. Now I know people who have been friends with somebody for so long and then it turns into a relationship and then after that they go back, they decide to, separate and go back to them being friends. With me, if you did something to me in a relationship and across me, that's it. I don't even care if we've been friends since I was in my diaper. I'm ghosting you. Like you're never gonna see me again. So for me, I wouldn't want to have a homeboy or, learn from experience. I wouldn't want like somebody that's like my homeboy or like my bro for real to turn into my boyfriend or my husband because I know myself. When we're done, we're done. I don't care about the friendship before. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. Like, it sounds like the norm. That's why I feel like I wouldn't date my friend just for that reason, because I feel like that just really messes everything up. So, and obviously you agree with that as well, because you're talking about if you guys stop being friends or if you guys stop being in a relationship, then that's pretty much a wasted friendship. So, okay.
Yeah.
So with the lovers and friends, I guess, so the person that you're with now, were you guys friends before or no?
We were associates, so we went to college together, right? And I worked
Okay.
at the front desk, so I basically knew everybody. I worked at the front desk in the dorm, so I knew everybody. So we were like cool, like,
Okay.
hey, how are you, or whatever. We went on one date in college, but then it never went anywhere. Like, I didn't even give her my number. But over, a few years, we had mutual friends. So that's
Okay.
how, we knew somebody mutual before we got together. So we were friends, like, oh, that's my friend. I talk to him all the time. So we were like associates. Like when we see each other, we'd be like, oh, hey, how are you? Type thing.
Yes. Okay. So no, that definitely makes sense. All right. So what about on the flip side then, lovers and friends? Meaning like if you have your partner, like somebody that you're with, someone that you love, and being friends within your relationship. Like what is your thought process on that?
Now, I think that's important because when your partner should be your best friend. That's how I see it. So if they're like your best friend, that means that somebody that, over time you get to know them, that should be the person that you go to. So for example, like me and, my partner, I don't want to put his name out there. I mean, even though the people listening might know him. Like, that's my gossip buddy. Like, that's my, oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell you what happened person. Like, you got to have a friendship like that. Like, like, XYZ happened. Like, that should be your, like, Ghanaian people would say your conconsa partner, like your gossip partner. For gossip, but also real stuff. Like, when you're going through stuff, that's, you have friends and siblings and stuff like that, but within your relationship, you should be able to tell your partner things. Like, you should be able to open up and say stuff. Communication is hard, but if you're friends within your relationship, it makes it easier for you guys to communicate things, even if it's the hard stuff. So I think building a friendship within your relationship is very important.
Definitely, and I agree. I feel like obviously when you go out, like you have a great time with your friends, and so you should be doing the same thing with your partner.
Right.
So what do you think about like when you've been with somebody for a really long time though, do you feel like that friendship should kind of grow for the better? Or do you feel like after a while it's like, bro, I'm tired of you, like let me go out with my girls and I'll just kind of, you do you, I do me. Like what's your thought on that? Like do you get over like being the person's friend, or it just kind of gets better with every like year or whatever that passes?
I think it gets better if you guys give each other space. So like we have, we go on a lot of dates and stuff like that, but we're also, I can go do my thing with my girls and he go do his thing with his boys. But then also we can both bring our friends together. Everybody can hang out and have a good time. So I think you guys need space. Sometimes guys need to go do their own happy hour guy time alone with just the guys, and women, we need to go do our own girl time. Now, if you're one of those people that, oh, I don't want my partner to have friends, I should be their only friend. And I'm telling you, this quarantine right now, your partner's next to you all day long. After a while, you like, I need my space. Like, I do my me time now during quarantine because even with your siblings, you live in a house with your siblings, you see your sibling every day. It's like little things your siblings do start getting on your nerves. It's the same thing in the normal world. You and your partner may not both may not work from home on a normal basis, or you guys may not, be housewives or house husbands, however your family structure is set up. You guys go out during the day for at least 8 hours, let's say. You guys get a chance to miss each other, but when you're seeing the same person every day, you start looking like, did he leave his sock on the floor again? On a regular day, you probably wouldn't even care, but now it's like, so I think space is important. You guys got to give each other space. And when you give each other space, if I go out for a girls' night out, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm having fun with my girls, but I can't wait to go back home. You guys got to give each other space to miss each other within your relationship. So I think it gets better with time as long as there's space within the relationship, if that makes sense.
Okay. No, it definitely makes sense because I think that that's very strange when people are like, my partner, like, he don't have no friends. And the reality of if he
Right.
do, he's probably just trying to hide it from you. But, so
Exactly.
I think, yes, I think that's really, really important. And something that you said that really made me laugh, and actually it happened to me before. So I don't know if you've seen the movie Brown Sugar with Taye Diggs and Sanaa Lathan.
Mhm.
Obviously, like, Sanaa was his best friend, and then his wife was just his wife. So there wasn't a really, like, there wasn't a friendship there. So, like, when he quit his job or whatever, like, he never told her things first. And I feel like, so that shows you that there is an importance where somebody, you know, where the person that you're with has to be your friend. Because if not,
Right.
it'll drive a wedge, you know, it'll drive a wedge in your relationship. And for me, I could speak on that. I know that there was somebody I dated, like, over 10 years ago, right? And
Mhm.
I promise you, and this sounds so crazy, and that means I was in my early 20s. But this
Mhm.
man, I'm like, yo, I don't think this man liked me. Like, that was my boyfriend, but it wasn't my friend. And I was just like, whoa, like, what's going on here? Like, and I'm just like, and I had mad friends, so I'm just like, wait, like, what's going on? But I realized the importance because I'm like, wait, I don't know if this man is trying to like play me or he's trying to use me, but I'm like, I'm cool, but he don't want to hang out with me. He don't want to make time for me. And that definitely is not a good look in a relationship. Like, if you're with somebody, like, it needs to also be your friend and you need to spend time with them, or it's kind of like,
Mhm.
what are you doing? Like, what is the end game? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
Or we just in like a situationship where it's just like, it's just physical. It's no conversation. It's no,
yes.
So communication is
No, it's
important. I'm
true.
telling you, it is.
It really, really,
Because
really is. So, I mean,
if you're not
oh, sorry, go
communicating,
ahead.
then that's when sneakiness and all that other stuff start happening, and you start second guessing. You got to be able to talk.
Yes, yes. And I feel like in this day and age, I don't think you should even get into a relationship if you don't know how to speak. Like, you know, there's some people who don't know how to have a conversation with their partner. Some people only text their partner. Some people could be
Right.
sitting in the same room with them and they're not saying nothing. Like, it's very
Mhm.
strange. But I feel
That's
like
so
those
true.
are definitely, yeah, those are definitely examples of like red flags. But at the same time, like I said, so the importance of dating somebody and being their friend is like, you know, and also I guess to make creative date ideas for the two of you. But you
Mhm.
definitely have like a more enjoyable relationship. Like you're creating memories, you know, you're doing things. I know like for me when I was dating, like I would definitely want to go out with my partner and just laugh and have a good time and things like that. So it's definitely something that I feel like is extremely important in growing in a relationship and of course growing in a marriage because this is somebody that you're probably going to spend forever with, you know, if it works out properly. So yeah, I definitely agree. So
And when you're in a
I'm,
relationship too, when you're in a relationship, and if you're like, in a relationship and you're going towards marriage, it's like a lot of stuff is gonna happen. Hard stuff that you don't even think like. You have to in the beginning. You have to start talking and start opening up because when the hard stuff comes, there's nobody else to run to besides your partner. So if you already don't know how to communicate with them earlier on, it's gonna make it hard. You're gonna start getting frustrated when you see a person and something's on your mind, but you can't even express it to them. So you got to be able to communicate early on. Not wait and think,
okay.
if I get married, then it's going to magically change. If there's no friendship early on, it's going to get harder.
And I definitely agree. And I would say that I don't know if this is the case for a lot of men, but I know that sometimes men don't know how to communicate. And so
Mhm.
I feel like, or communicate effectively. And so what ends up happening is a woman is dating a man and you telling him all your business and he's able to kind of like help you navigate through it. But then you realize, and this happened to me once, where you realize, I don't really know this man. Like, he's
Mhm.
my partner, like we're together, you know, we go out, we have fun, we laugh, but then you realize it's very surface level and you don't even know who you're actually dealing with.
Right.
You know what I
And
mean?
that's
So yeah, like,
scary.
so, girl, who you telling? That is very, very scary. So I think that also like the importance of being like lovers and friends is that you need to make sure that you're actually friends and he's not just letting you talk
Mhm.
continuously and then you're having a false sense of, oh, this is my man, this, you know, he's my bestie. But the
Exactly.
reality of it is you the one doing the talking and he's just not saying nothing about himself, his life, his family. And then you wake up one day and realize, I don't know this man.
That made me think about, I don't know if you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, right?
No, I
But
don't.
you may
Tell
know
me.
Kenya Moore. You know Kenya Moore right
Oh,
now. She's allegedly going through a divorce or whatever. And
yeah.
she had put a statement out there like she's going through a divorce, but she doesn't even know her partner's parents. She doesn't talk to her partner's parents. Her child has never seen her partner's parents. And I'm just like, how are you dating somebody, you marry them, but there's no communication? You don't have communication between you and them or their family. Like, what kind of relationship is that? Your child can, like, right now you're going through a divorce. Your child can be around people that you have no idea who they are, how to get in contact with them should something happen to your child. And so that's like, when I saw that, I was like, you don't even talk to his parents? Like, you don't know, like, you don't have a phone number for his parents or his family members. Like, you never, like, got to that side of his, like, that side of him. So do you really know this man if you don't know his family?
Well, I don't think.
So
See, and like I said, because I've seen clips of the show, but I don't watch the show. But one thing I will say is the man did not like her. He definitely was not her friend. He wasn't her supporter. So something like that, like that's a prime example. So if any of you guys watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kenya Moore and her husband, like that's an example of what it's like to not be friends in a relationship. I'm not sure what they have in common besides sex, but it's like that was probably it. You know what I mean? So. And you should know like more about his family, but the reality of it is he's the problem because you're hiding those things. And she probably just took it like, oh, you know, eventually I'll find out. So yeah, this is definitely like, you know, when it comes to love, being like with that person, there's more to it. And the friendship, I think, is the foundation. It's the number one thing that you should have. So, I mean, before we go, Nana Quia, what like not last minute, but like what advice do you have for the listeners who may be listening about this topic?
So I would say, and if you're African or like have like cultural things, like a lot of times we look at our parents and use them as like an example of what like our relationship would be and things like that. But a lot of our parents grew up, our parents were together, but they probably weren't communicating with each other the best. So we probably don't know how to communicate. We probably grew up in a house where we really didn't get a chance to speak up. So like the way you were raised, somebody may not be raised that way. So they may have that communication barrier. So you got to put that out there in the beginning. Like, look, we got to talk. Like, that's important to me. So you got to set that earlier on. And I would also say, to our young ladies out there in their 30s, you know, you're African or whatever, cultural thing, they're like rushing, oh, when are you going to get married? Wait, don't rush and just settle for anybody. You got to start with this foundation of friendship with people. Don't be blinded by the flash and think, oh, this person buying me this and that, all that stuff. Communication and friendship is the most important thing in a relationship, in my opinion. So you want to make sure, like, if you're dating now, that should be like on the top of your list. The things that you're looking for in a person, or like you notice in a person that you're, you know, talking to or dating. That's what I would say.
No, that's facts. No, I definitely agree. Like, I don't even have nothing to add to that. Like, I feel like that's very, very important because you are spending like majority of your time with them. You want to be happy. You want to be real. You don't want to have to be fake around a person. Yes. All right, honey. Well, thank you so much for being my special guest today. So if anybody wants to get in contact with you, if they want to find you, like, what is your social media handle so they can add you?
I'm on Instagram at Queen_Aquia. That's QUEEN_AKUA.
All righty. Well, thank you. And to my listeners, I thank you guys so much for tuning in with me today. And until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.